So one of my goals for 2024 is to read more books, and one of my favorite things in the world is music. Now you may be asking how those two even relate to each other, and I'm about to tell you. I decided to motivate myself to read more books in the new year is to let my music taste choose what I read. So come with me as I browse for different books based on my music taste from artists such as Taylor Swift and One Direction. Sit back with me and watch me buy a bunch of, or not buy, but like just look for different book recommendations based off of my music taste. So I think I'm gonna start with this website. I'm just gonna screen record so you guys can see it. I just searched up books based off of different Taylor Swift songs, and this website pulled up. So I'm looking here and I really want one for You Belong With Me, and there is a book here called You and Me on Vacation, and they say that it connects with You Belong With Me. I guess it's kind of like a friends to lovers kind of book. So I'm actually gonna make a Google Doc so I can put a list of all these different books. So the first one is called You and Me on Vacation, and this is You Belong With Me by Taylor Swift. Okay, and then I also have this other website pulled up because I wanted a book that relates with Champagne Problems by Taylor Swift. And there's a book that popped up here. It's called If I Never Met You. And it's saying that basically the main character is blindsided when her long-term boyfriend breaks up with her. Then the two characters met and got together in college. And just like the song, it says, but you'll find the real thing instead and you won't remember all my champagne problems. So I'm gonna put this book in my list. So okay, I decided to twist it up a little bit and make the playlist first so that I know what books I'm looking for and like in what genre almost. So I'm gonna go in my Spotify and just make a playlist of the different songs that I want, like the different books that I want. So, and if I find like other books that like correlate to different songs along the way and I like the idea, then I'll put the song in my playlist. But I also do want like One Direction songs to choose like what I read. So I kind of want to do like, I did see a book recommendation with the song If I Could Fly, and I really want to read that, which I will show you guys in a second. So I'm gonna put If I Could Fly by One Direction on this playlist. I don't know, like I feel like it's so hard to choose the songs and then choose the books. So I feel like I should like do the books now. I have like 3 songs in this playlist. Oh, I want to do Love Story, so I'm gonna put Love Story on here too actually. Love Story. Okay, so I have like a couple songs in the playlist, but I'm gonna go back to looking at the books. So I have You Belong With Me and Champagne Problems. I want to find the one for If I Could Fly because I know this one was really good. So I'm gonna books that connect to If I Could Fly One Direction. Yeah, see, I watched Steph's video on this and that's how I got this idea. Oh, this was a website I thought books you should read based on your favorite One Direction songs. So there is one here. So If I Could Fly and Half a Heart by One Direction both have the same book that like relates with it, which is 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. So I'm gonna put that on my recommendation list. 1,000 Boy Kisses. This is If I Could Fly and Half a Heart by One Direction. So I'm gonna put Half a Heart on my playlist too, so that. So basically in this book it says there's a scene where the couple is dancing to If I Could Fly by One Direction, which if that happens in the book then I feel like I'm automatically gonna just like connect to it more. The lyrics of the song also perfectly relate to the story. The main characters are childhood friends to lovers, forced to separate when the guy moves to a different country. And the lyrics from If I Could Fly say, if I could fly, I'd be coming right back home to you. I'm missing half of me when we're apart. And the other song, Half a Heart, is because the two characters say that the other is half of their heart or like half of their soul. So I guess that's why they chose it to like connect to each other, and I think that's really cool. So I really want to read this book. It's like one of the top ones on my list because those 2 songs are really good, and if it like fits that perfectly into the book then I like really want to read it. Okay, so I want to see, because I put Love Story in this playlist, so I want to see if there's a book that I can find that relates with Love Story. I have this website pulled up over here, which is basically just a website that says it's recommending books on Taylor Swift's Fearless, like books based off of Taylor Swift's Fearless era, so like her Fearless album, Taylor's version. And there's a book here for Love Story. It has it for each of the songs in the album. So there's one for Love Story, and this book is called Daughter of Smoke and Bone. It says it's a fantasy trilogy where the protagonists are fighting on the opposite sides of a war, and yet they have an instantaneous connection that makes it impossible for them not to fall in love with each other. It says the novel is incredibly whimsical and atmospheric, which makes it a perfect fit for Taylor's song because Love Story is basically like a Romeo and Juliet kind of situation. I think I'll put that on my recommendations doc. It's definitely not one of my top choices, but I guess that's kind of like the point, is to see like what I like to read. So like not all of these will be books that I love. I wanted to do another song for One Direction, and I saw Steph's video. I'll put the thumbnail up on the screen, but she recommended this one book for One Direction song Fool's Gold, and I have the website pulled up over here. So Fool's Gold by One Direction has a certain book associated with it. This is the same website where I got the 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole book for If I Could Fly and Half a Heart by One Direction. But for Fool's Gold, there's a book that this website recommended. It's called November 9th by Colleen Hoover. I'm pretty sure a ton of people have read it because I know Colleen Hoover was like really big on like TikTok and everything. I haven't read any of her books, but this one actually seems pretty cool because it says the protagonist Fallon doesn't have the best relationship with her father, and when they're out for lunch they got into an argument, and that's when Ben was introduced. They have an instant connection, but Fallon is moving across the country the next day and they know a relationship wouldn't work, but they still want to meet up again, so they decide to meet the next year on November 9th, and they continue this for many years to follow, which actually sounds really interesting to me and I want to read that. And they give specific lyrics that connect the song to the book. So the song by One Direction, Fool's Gold, has a lyric in it that says, "And yeah, I let you use me from the day that we first met, but I'm not done yet falling for you." So I guess they kind of just chose that to connect with the book. So I want to put this on my recommendation. November 9th by Colleen Hoover. This is for Fool's Gold by One Direction, and I'm gonna put Fool's Gold on my Spotify playlist too because I honestly think this video is like kind of cool, and I haven't seen anyone done this. I've definitely seen like the reverse done, but I think doing it this way is really cool because it will motivate me to read more, and like if I know these books have a certain association with the song that I love, then I feel like I'll definitely read it more. Okay, so another song that I want to do to find a book recommendation is Lover by Taylor Swift. And I know that all of these are like Taylor Swift and One Direction, but hear me out. I feel like there's so many other artists that I love, right? Like Zach Bryan, Post Malone, like Tate McRae. There's so many other artists that I love, but I just can't like imagine a book that resembles with those songs, and I'm sure they do, but I feel like even if they did, that just wouldn't be like my genre of books. And like maybe like Tate McRae would, because I love her music and I love like her ability to like tell a story too. I can't imagine reading a book that was like recommended from a Post Malone song. Like I don't know why, but that doesn't really click in my brain. I don't know, like I love those songs, but I feel like in these types of videos it's that thing where it's like if you like the book you will like the song, and if you like the song then you will like the book. In that case, with like liking Post Malone, Zach Bryan, like Noah Kahan, anyone else, like I feel like that doesn't apply to me there. I think it's because like Taylor Swift and like One Direction, but especially Taylor Swift, has just such an ability to tell a story and like literally write out every single detail in her songs that like makes you feel like you're living the situation even if you haven't like been through a situation like that. But I do want a book for Lover, and I have this website pulled up over here. This is books as songs from her Lover album. So there is one over here that I saw. It's from the song I Forgot That You Existed, and it connects to the book To All the Boys I've Loved Before, which I'm actually reading right now. So I thought that was really cool because I love To All the Boys. Like the movie on Netflix is really good and the book is also good, but I feel like the book is very different from the movie. Okay, so there's a book for Lover over here. It's called Clockwork Princess. It doesn't really have a full like summary. It just says, I guess there's a relationship between these characters, Will and Tessa, and their love is so pure that it could be almost everything in the world. And it connects it to the lyrics of the song, and there's a dazzling haze, a mysterious way about you, dear. Have I known you 20 seconds or 20 years? Which I feel like is such a known line from Taylor's song. So I think I'll just put that on my my recommendations list, and I'm gonna add the song to my playlist too. Okay, I really want a book for Harry Styles' Matilda because that's such a different story altogether. But if you know the song, you know that it's like a really sad song, but it's so good and it's so like deep and meaningful. And I just feel like getting a book for that would be really cool. So I'm gonna start screen recording. I'm gonna search up books based off of Matilda by Harry Styles. Okay, so I guess this is like, I think it's the same website as the Taylor one, but this is Books as Songs from Harry's House by Harry Styles. So it gives you like a book for each of the tracks on the album. So I'm gonna find the one for Matilda. Okay, so this one's recommending a book called Normal People. Okay, I don't really know exactly what the summary of this is, but it is connecting it to the lyrics of Matilda that say, you can let it go, you can throw a party full of everyone you know, you can start a family who will always show you love, and you don't have to be sorry for doing it on your own. Oh my god, I love that song so much, it's so good. Okay, so I have a list on my phone of the songs that I wanted to do, and I have Infinity by One Direction, which I don't have a book for yet, and I did remember seeing it like on that website, so that's why I want to do this. So I wanted a book based off of Infinity by One Direction, and so I'm back on the same website where I got the other One Direction recommendations from. Okay, I found it. So this one relates to Spaces and Infinity, both songs by One Direction, and the book is called All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. Basically, if you don't know, the song Spaces by One Direction is about like growing apart from somebody, and it's connecting it to the lyrics, who's gonna be the first one to start the fight, who's gonna be the first one to fall asleep at night, and oh, spaces between us keep getting deeper, it's harder to reach you even though I try. And it says that the lyrics perfectly describe the relationship between the main character as they grow distant from each other, and then the song Infinity also goes perfectly with the book. The lyrics, and now I'm one step closer to being 2 steps far from you, and it says that's how the protagonist, one of the protagonists, Graham, feels throughout the book. So that I'm going to put on my recommendations, called All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover, and this is for Spaces and Infinity, and I'm gonna put both those songs on my playlist. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I think that's gonna be it for all my books. I think I'm probably gonna make like at some point like a part 2 to this video where I either go buy the books or go to the library and just like have like kind of like a reading vlog. God, I never thought I'd actually do that. Like but it'll be something like that, and I'll give you like my thoughts and opinions on each of the books as I go along with them, and then I can recommend them to people in the future, or maybe not recommend them, I don't know. But most of these actually seem like very good reads, so I'm excited. I feel like I've been talking way too much in this video, so I'm gonna leave. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.